Alright, folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're here to discuss today's game as Celtic lose to 2-1 to Hearts today at Celtic Park. I'm joined by Liam and Alistair to go over everything. Liam, I mean, I think it just that performance today just reaffirmed to me that no matter who you put in the dugout, this team are absolutely god awful.
Aye, it highlighted how weak we are as a team and as a squad. Disappointing day all round, to be honest. I had high hopes for today. The manager's first game at home, because sometimes, I think it was under Postecoglou, it was away from home, which is even trickier. So I thought I had expectations today that they would at least get the result. So I'm very disappointed today.
I just want to always say well done to Hearts. They deserved it because they completely played us off the park at times. Alistair, I mean, I think the worst thing is I'm not even that surprised, to be honest with you. I go all the hype between the new manager, but a manager's not going to take away the problems. Obviously, we'll discuss. The manager isn't exactly blameless either, but he's not exactly the main issue at the moment. The main issue being is waiting a month for the manager, and then they've given him a run of Hearts at Celtic Park, and then you've got Roma midweek, then you've got the cup final, and it's no after the best of starts.
No, Josh, I completely agree there. But I expected to see something, but what I seen, even it did surprise me about how this team can go in a 6-game unbeat one and run in the league and beat Feyenoord away, and then you get that. But it reaffirmed everything we all know. We need players. There's too many holes in this squad, and the manager has been left to carry the can. That's how I would sum up how I'm feeling at the minute, but we'll get into that.
I look at it and I do look at it and I get what you mean about the whole kind of 5-match winning run. But even with some of the games in that winning run, we weren't playing that great either. It was just obviously we managed to get across the line, which was obviously the good thing. But now we've obviously not managed to get across the line. And the thing is, I think there's kind of two ways. I think the players that they have just reconfirmed to is that they aren't good enough. They were. I thought first half an hour we were decent. But the end product, again, as it has so often this season, has completely let us down from start to finish this season.
Well, I said to you at the game, I actually said that I felt that that Hearts were going to get a chance, and if they picked the right ball, were in trouble, because you could actually see they left 2-on-2, and the problem is with a back three, and I don't mind a back three, but you need the players to play it. We don't have the players to play it.
Liam, obviously there was a lot made about kind of Nancy's tactics and how he was going to kind of approach these games because, and this is where I maybe will have a bit of criticism for the manager. He spoke about no making too many changes too quickly because they've only had a day on the training ground with each other realistically, and then he goes and plays a back three and it's just a bit all over the place. I don't really get what he was doing there. I did thought that he would make subtle changes, which is fine, but I thought he's going to try and get by, try and get the results, and then we'll see. And then hopefully, week on week, as they kind of improve with him on the training ground, we'll start to see the subtle changes. But no, he just went in basically two-footed, and unfortunately, it's backfired.
I thought he would have done that as well, because based off his presser, he did say that it would be nuanced changes. So I took that as small tweaks as we go along, like drip feeding the kind of information that he wanted to to impose on his team. So I was a bit, when my cousin sent me the team lineup, today, I was a wee bit, it took me a couple of minutes to kind of work out, is that a three at the back? And of course, it was a three at the back. And you get three left-sided players at the back, which for me, just didn't work with the balance. I'm not saying that's the reason why we lost today, because the first half we had plenty of chances, by the way, to go in front. But I just felt for the players, in terms of information overload, it was just a wee bit too much of a change based on what he said. I think it was a bit contradicting. I don't know if it's naivety. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know what it is, but he's going to have to play 3-4-3 at some point if that's his system, right? But I just didn't think today it was necessary. I think going with the 4-3-3 was fine because Yang has actually been good on the left. You've actually switched him over to the right. Tenecti's not been great for coming on and stuff. I didn't really understand that as much. I don't know if he was just trying to throw off McInnes a wee bit. I just thought the balance wasn't quite there, and then the second half kind of proved that. And then with the changes, a wee bit too late. So, it just didn't work, in my opinion.
I mean, what was your kind of thing was of the formation? Because I actually thought, as I said, first half an hour played some decent stuff, but the end product, as it has so often this season, completely let us down with the complete jokier front three we've got. What did you make of the formation? Because honestly, I generally didn't have a clue what players were playing, to be honest.
We had some nice patterns to play, but can you honestly tell me a save that goal we had to make in the first half? That was my worry. I mean, granted, Liam, we had chances and that, and Maeda could score.
That's the one I'm kind of alluding to, Alistair.
We never made the goal work.
Is that a tactical thing though, or is that the personnel he's got to choose from? Because I'm going to stick up for Wilfred Nancy a bit here. Is that the personnel thing, or is it the tactical thing? Because I'm going to be honest with you and say it. The personnel we've got up front is absolutely shite. I'm going to be as blunt as that. It's Sunday, honestly. It's Sunday level at times, honestly. So I think the build-up was great, but then, as we've seen so often again this season, as soon as it gets to the front three, they're overcomplicating it, they're farting about, and they're no just, and because there's not, enjoy the reason why I think they're farting about, because there's not an out and out centre forward in that box. That's the thing. So for me, that comes down to the complete lack of quality in this side.
No composure whatsoever. Guys, Maeda showed that, and we don't even shoot. And we don't shoot when we've got the chance. It's one too many touches. You let everybody in the box reset, and Hearts are really good at defending the box. So we shot ourselves in the foot with that. Just that lack of composure, which we know Dice Maeda's got that. He can be really good, but at times his composure lets him down massively.
Aye, and Tenecki was the exact same today. There was points where we get by players and then farting about. They started passing it, like I don't know, and it just pass it to the park. I mean, it's just
overkill, isn't it?
Aye, I mean, Alistair, for me, I said this, and this is where the main culprits come in. The main culprits for today's performance was the Celtic board.
Yeah, and the previous manager, by the way.
What do you mean by the previous manager?
I mean
Rodgers or
Brendan Rodgers, because he's the one that has been complicit in letting Adam Eder no get replaced, Kyogo no get replaced. He's been complicit in this for me, and the fact is, I'm 42. I don't mind telling you, it's the worst set of strikers I've ever seen Celtic have, and that includes when we've really struggled in the past, including when the Celtic guys were. Honestly, it's the worst set of strikers I've ever seen in my life.
What, worse than Harold Blackback?
Aye, definitely, mate. Definitely.
He's actually good. He was actually good in Europe and all. When he was a decent enough striker, just wasn't he good with us.
But But it doesn't tell us anything we didn't already know. The holes and the cracks in this squad can be fixed. And that's where I hope people don't go all in and Nancy. I get it deserves criticism. But if you think Walford Nancy's a problem, he's no.
Alistair, I've seen a lot of people, even on social media at the moment, suggesting that he's out his depth after one game, which is a bit mind-blowing to me. How someone can judge a man in one game is unbelievable.
But I said we were going to get this. We were going to get it. See if he came out and we beat Hearts by maybe 3-1 or 2-1 or we got a result. You know, people would be on the opposite. That's just the complete knee-jerk reaction of football.
The problem, Liam, I'll answer your question. The problem is, I don't think the Celtic board, and this is where I agree with you, gave Nancy the best chance to come in and settle the early. Look, if you've been realistic, we're lucky still to be in within touching distance.
Alistair, what would you have done? Would you have got him in earlier, or would you have waited till after the cup final then?
I probably would have announced him as coming in, but I would have given him a later start date. That's what I would have done. Because the day was too big. We shouldn't have come in that day.
And that's what I was going to say. The Celtic board have completely hung him out to dry. They've completely... But that's what they do. They just try to shield the blame and everything else. And I'm going to come back to a point where you said that Brendan Rodgers was complicit. I don't agree, right? Very rarely, I disagree. To be honest with you, Brendan Rodgers for months hammered onto them about need for new striker to replace Kyogo. As far back as January, didn't get it. Then in the summer, he completely rehashed it that he needed to replace the front line. They have completely dismantled this front line from a front line that was scoring goals for fun last season. If you look at last season, by this point we'd lost 4 games all season domestically last season. Well, now we've lost 3 already. And Brendan Rodgers, I don't know how many times, had to bang the drum to say I need quality up top. I could go back and find examples because there's plenty of them. Where he
Josh, do you think he gave the green light to let Kyogo go in January, or do you think they just did it, like, if you know what I mean, off their own accord? Because for me, they would have to have run that past Rodgers.
I think they might have given him the green light under false promises. If you want my honest opinion, I think they've said to him, "We'll sell Kyogo, we'll get you somebody else in," and then I think they've basically said, but they're also looking and go at a Celtic board. I think no matter who the manager do what they want.
Aye.
We saw it with the statements that they bring out when they hang with Rodgers, where they completely tore him to shreds.
Amateur hour.
We've seen them when they've ripped fans about it, so I don't know, but what we have seen, and there's evidence of it, Rodgers continuously banged on about the fact that we need a quality centre forward. Now I believe good Celtic teams have a good centre forward. Odsonne Edwards was good centre forward with a good team 9 in a row. Even during the COVID years, they still put decent numbers up. Then you had Kyogo for the Ange team, the figurehead. Griffiths. You go back. There's always been a good centre forward at Celtic when it's been a good side, and we've not got that. We've not got a spearhead that can. I will maybe not a great side, but see if you had a decent centre forward, I'm pretty sure we'd be scoring a lot more.
Listen, I know Ida wasn't the answer, but for me that was wrong, selling him and not replacing him.
Another one that wasn't replaced.
He wasn't replaced, and I think he got hung out to dry quite a lot, and he was a bit of a scapegoat for me. I think under Rodgers the second time around, no striker was ever really prolific. I just don't know if it was the system we played, but I just thought he was hung out to dry a wee bit. I know I'm getting off on a bit of a tangent, but just going back to the strikers that you're talking about, I totally agree. Every most good sides have a top striker, and we don't even have a decent striker at the moment.
Well, we don't have a striker, period. We bought a guy in for Japan. The they can't even go in the squad these days. No, everything is saying matter. Again, do you know a person that's went under the radar? The head of recruitment or head of football operations.
See, he was the other day having a good nap.
That Tisdale.
Yeah, that's him.
He was caught. He was on the sky cameras tonight and falling asleep.
Aye.
Fell asleep.
I mean,
He's running the scouting department, by the way. Just like you know.
I'll be
Must have been
honest.
sleeping when he got Balakwisha now.
Well, there another one doesn't even go off the bench. He played a grand total of 7 minutes for partner Neil. What does that tell you? We've spent the guts of £5 million on the guy.
Tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it?
And people are thinking, oh, we'll get recruitment in January. Right, what
Would you-
evidence have you got?
Would
that we
you
have
trust?
any?
Would you trust this head of recruitment?
I don't trust any of
Get
them.
your players.
I don't trust any of them. I don't trust the board. I don't trust the recruitment because it's shit. Quite frankly, it's shit.
The blind leading the blind, innit? Let's be honest.
But
And if they get if they get a good player, it'll be sheer luck.
aye, but I think going back to kind of Nancy and the game today, Wilfred Nancy, I think is going to have to, and it's just unfortunate he's been put in this situation. He spoke after the game about performance over results, and at the time I thought,
Red flag.
but right, I don't think it is though. I get why people might look at it as a red flag, right? But Ange Postecoglou said similar when he was put into the manager's kind of post, right? And I get what he means. If you get good performances, you're going to get good results. But what I will say is, the difference is, Ange Postecoglou had a good pre-season, well, a decent enough pre-season to get his ideas across. Nancy's not going to get that, so he's going to have to probably just kind of play for results and make it not as pretty as he maybe wants it to be, to try and get him to January or try and get him to we'll obviously finish the season, but first and foremost, get him to January, because if he doesn't, I would really fear for him, because as I said, he needs patience, but there's also a mix. You need results, and at this moment in time, when you're playing the top of the league, you can't tinker about it too much, especially when you've only been with the team for 2 days, if even that.
That's what I don't understand about the small nuances turned into a complete different formation change. Do you know what I mean? And I'm sure when he sat down with Martin O'Neill, one of the first things O'Neill probably said to him, in my opinion, was the results have to come first. Or at least you're halfway through a season. You don't have the luxury of a pre-season the way Ange did, and then his style eventually clicks. In a way, he needs to get it to click now. Do you know what I mean? And that's the problem. The results do have to come quick, or fans are going to. By the way, I don't want to say fans are going to turn ultra quick, but it can turn nasty within weeks. We've seen it across the other side of the city. They never took to the guy at all to begin with. We're at least going to give this guy a chance, but it just shows you how quick things can go south.
Yeah. And that's why I'm surprised they changed the formation. Because
Definitely.
if he'd played, I'm going to say it, O'Neill's way played, and we had maybe drew one each, then people would have said, he went the O'Neill way. He never. But I think the fact he's went 2-footed in first is, I fear it's going to make a run for his own back.
The one thing I do want to kind of quash when it comes to, I've seen a lot of, we would have won that game under him. I don't think so. I don't. I just think this is a poor Celtic side. And Neil has done, brilliant. But as I said, in that spell there was
It's a
something.
lazy argument,
Aye.
Joe, I think.
Exactly, and there was still some really poor performances, but we got the results. But I just thought Hearts were, a lot better than us today. But I think that Nancy is going to have to try and, you can make changes, but James McFadden made a good point. It's results at the end of it at this moment in time, and you're kind of buying yourself time. So if you win a game, then you say to me, I'll start taking it by game basis, and that's basically, I think, where we're at with Nancy is he's basically buying himself time. I'm not saying we're going to sack him in a month or whatever. I don't think so. I think you're going to have to be patient if you like it or not with Wilfred Nancy to an extent, of course. But I think he's going to have to, week by week, Liam, really, buy sell time. So, for instance, if he gets a result next week, he's got another week to try and keep drilling, and it's going to take that gradual time. But in that gradual time, you're going to need to try and get results as best you can. And I don't think he done that today by the way we set up.
No, I didn't. And it just goes back to the timing aspect of him coming in, because now he's got Roma on Thursday. Even though we're at home, I'm just not looking forward to that at all. It's got nothing to do with Nancy as a person and that sort of thing, but just that result now today, it's the kind of last thing we needed. If we could just have at least snatched a draw, it just built and kept that momentum. I'm not looking forward to that. And obviously after that you've got the cup final. It's just big games, and it's such a short period of time to try and get his message across. That's why I wish he went a bit slower and kind of stuck to what he said in the press conference about small changes. I just thought that was a bit 2 steps forward, 3 steps back today. I felt as if he could have done that a lot more simpler. That's just my gut feeling. He kind of just one step too far today.
I know, definitely. Alistair, I think it's unfair, right? I think I've seen a lot of fans making out that he's an idiot and he's I think that's very unfair.
That is. Well, do you know what the day's game was? Forget it was Celtic Hearts. It was a team that took over in the summer by a manager against a manager that's just walked in the door. That's what it was. And see, to be honest, I think, to be completely honest with you, I think Nancy was in a no-win situation either way, because I can't remember what one he said it. Whatever happened today was going to go one way or the other. If we beat Hearts 2 or 3-0, but the positive I'll take out of it is he'll now know the weaknesses, and he will also know that, right, I can't be as open as that. Maybe if you're playing 11 at Celtic Park or anybody like that, but not when you play Hearts. I mean, that was taking all of it.
But I also don't think, when people are obviously going to overanalyze that quote of the whole performance of. I think people are taking them. I think people are making out.
Sneeze yet?
Aye, I think people are making out that when this. I'm not saying uses or us as personally, but I think people are taking it sometimes as, oh well, and I'm not trying to rigorously defend them. I just think it's fair to. I maybe not completely, and utterly defend them, but at the same time, I think it's also important to be fair. And I think he'll know that he has to get results. He'll know that. Now, he'll learn. I think he will, and I think that'll be the good thing. He'll learn, as you said, that he can't take those steps. And that's what I'm trying to say. I just think I am not rigorously defending him or anything, but I think it's important to try and find a bit of balance to this, if you know what I mean. So
I think what he's getting is you can never really control results, but what you can do is control your application and stuff like that for the performance to be at least positive. And then normally with a positive performance, the results take care of itself. So I totally get what he's saying, but he's unfortunate that you've came to Glasgow and what both sides are like. Everyone just so fickle, and results are everything that matters, because that's what some people's lives are Celtic. That's all they
And
care
the,
about.
and the
I get it.
positive, on you go.
On you go, mate.
No, I was going to say, the positive is we, we have we have got a game in hand. Now I get points on the board are great. Hearts have beat us twice, but we could still be neck and neck with them. So it's no lost, and I think that goes to show that that we've had a good run. The day was a setback, but the day always had that potential to be. I'm not excusing a bad performance, and it was a bad performance. But come on, as you said, Josh, what he said, what one training session, we were always going to struggle. He's been a bit naive to to put his formation in place right away. That's the biggest mistake he's made today. In my
See, to be honest though, Alistair, I could see the patterns of play and stuff like that he was trying to do in the first half. So he has managed to get a little bit of whatever he was trying to get across in training. So he's obviously charismatic guy and he knows exactly how he wants his team to play. But as you said, just one step too far with the formational thing. I totally agree with that.
No.
Aye.
No, I think it was there. I just think he was let down by the
And
lack
the
of
one
fire
thing you
up
need
front.
for Nancy's formation, you need a number 6. And we also don't have a number 6.
Aye, but that's just because of the recruitment yet again. But a lot of it's been let down by recruitment. It's plain and simple. And that's going to go to January. They have to back him. They have to back him and get the players. Celtic are going to need to spend a lot of money in January. A lot of money to fix this squad.
30 million quid.
Because we've got wingers that are shite. Apart from the only winger I would generally think is maybe got some sort of future, and it's mental that I'm even saying this, is Yang. Generally, I think he's our best winger, and I include Maeda in that.
I think Maeda will be away.
If you're going on this season, Yang has been our best winger. We have,
Yang's probably our top goal scorer is Nicolin. That's mental.
Aye, we're going to need to. I think we're going to look at 2 strikers in January, because as Alistair says, we've not got any actuals rubbish. Kenny, I just don't see it.
Telling Josh, sorry, that any actual was on the bench and never got on.
Aye, Kenny, I just don't see it. Yamada, now 3 managers seem to know fancy him.
It's weird because when I seen him at Ibrox, I thought he was actually all right. I know it was just a small sample size, but I thought he was okay. But I didn't realise he was this fucking bad. You know what I mean?
I think that's the thing. Another thing as well. There's been a new phrase that's getting invented. Oh, but he tries. Is that the minimum for a Celtic player now? Is it as long as he tries, he's in the team? I remember when you had quality, and that's the thing. That's because there's a complete lack of quality there, and that's why we're getting the results. But it's massive.
It's coming up to a year, boys, since when we beat Young Boys to qualify for the last 32 playoff in the Champions League. That to this, this isn't the manager, folks. This isn't the board.
Aye.
I think we could bring Pep Guardiola in. He's not getting any made at this squad.
Aye.
No. He really isn't.
I'm just going to say it to conclude it, basically. Conclude obviously the video and stuff like that. It's all in January. It's just trying to try and find something that's going to get his results till January, and it needs to be the busiest January of transfer window for me of all time.
Living memory, anyway.
I generally think it's that big a job. I think Rangers are going to have a big January alongside us. Hearts are probably going to reinvest and strengthen themselves. So we need to do the exact same, and I think that's what we need to do.
Get faith that we will, Josh.
No, and that's the damning thing. But the only thing that's giving me slight faith, they've not got a choice. They have not got a choice this time. They have to. They brought a manager in They need to get his players and his thing that's going to play, his system. That's my kind of final thoughts. Alistair, anything else before we kind of wrap it up?
I just wanted to know, you're not claiming that, are you? Because you
I
said
did think that. I was like, that's twice that's happened, and it's the opposition. I've got my score prediction. No, I'm not claiming.
no way. But no, I would just say, sore one today, but thank God we're still within striking distance. But it's bad that we're in that position, but that's the
Aye,
position the powers that be at the club have put us in. On
aye.
their heads, be it what happens.
Liam, final thoughts.
It's my first pod that we've been beat.
The streak's
So
over. The streak's over.
the streak's over. Unfortunately, it was good while it lasted. But I kind of agree with Alistair. I mean, I don't know. It's just that this could be the start of something really good as well. That sounds really stupid, but get back to Alistair's point earlier. You can kind of see, how weak the squad is from here. Rather than maybe getting a win and kind of papering over the cracks. So this might be a blessing in disguise. We'll only know as the weeks progress. I'm hoping that it is, and I'm hoping that starts on Thursday. But domestic football is what matters at the moment. But
Aye.
I know we've kind of...
What Jets will beat Roma.
He will end up beating them 3-1 or something, I know.
They get beat 1 nowadays, so
I've seen that actually.
Football will beat Roma now. It's the
But
that
listen-
kind of season, folks.
if it starts on Thursday, then I'm happy. A win's a win, and then we move on. So let's hope.
Aye. No, I think that's the main thing. I think he's obviously he's got the cup final come up that he can kind of maybe swing, someone and maybe doom and gloom of the day. That
George, before you finish, mate, I'll say this to you. We were told a month ago that one year game in hand, you'll be level. We would have snapped the Hono. So let's
aye,
take a sore one,
aye.
but we're still in the mix. And that's the best
No,
we can hope for with this squad at the moment.
exactly. But he's going to need to find a way to pick up results. That's kind of the main thing that I would take for the day. But he's obviously got the cup final and stuff like that. I think we'll get pumped after him, if you want an honest opinion. So I'm not really counting that, to be honest. But he's going to the cup final to kind of get thing and then try and get this squad to January. But they must back him because this squad is in need of severe improvement. It's actually unbelievable.
This squad as it stands won't win the league, folks.
No, I would say that. I don't think this squad are capable of winning them.
And they don't have a choice whether to back him or no. This is when this board normally does back a manager, when they don't have a choice. Rather than being proactive, they're very reactive, aren't they?
Well, Michael Nicholson said as much. If you believe him, which I don't, right? But if you believe him, then that's up to you. So they've said it. It's out there. They have to back him. They've not got a choice. But it's about getting the squad to January. But I'm going to wrap it up there for today's video. As Celtic lose by 2-1 to Hearts at Celtic Park. As I said there, we'll be back with build up to that game on Thursday night as Celtic face Roma, a game that I'm just seriously not looking forward to. But until next time, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.